Alright, this is my community health assessment by me, Joby Rummer. So, the place that I chose was my hometown called Healy. Very, very small. It's in Lane County, Kansas. Estimated population is 419 according to the U.S. Census Bureau. This was like in 2023. Now, today, I think there's actually about maybe 200 people. It has definitely gone down. So, primarily, it's a very agricultural town. A lot of farmers, family-centered. Everybody's knows everybody. Very tight-knit, you know. Closest large towns is Dayton, which Dayton is also kind of small. It's about 25 miles southeast. And then Scott City is about a little southwest, 33 miles. I mean, it's big triangle, Dayton, Scott, Healy, you know. Health areas I had analyzed. So physical wellness, mental, emotional health, environmental, social, and like access to education. So for strengths, the community, the relationships and everything, it's great. Anytime I know I was in high school, we had send-offs, parades for anybody that was going to state or, you know, had a big event. It's very clean. If you ever see any trash, people are always picking it up. I mean, but that's a very rare thing to see and happen. Low crime rates. Honestly, not a lot of things go down in that town. It's very rare. And the best things that have happened, they're pretty minor. So, weaknesses, we're very limited on healthcare access. So we have to travel for any doctor appointments, dental, anything like that. We don't have a whole lot of mental health resources. We have some people in town that, you know, work outside, but if you ever needed to call them, you know, they'd be like, hey, yo, like, I got you. Lack of fitness and recreation centers. We have a rec. We just don't have a recreation center. So a lot of times, like, their meetings would be held at the school or our local gas station. For fitness, we have a weight room, but it's not really a weight room. I mean, there's a few things, like you have your dumbbell rack, you have your squat, bench press, 2 treadmills, and maybe a few other things. I mean, it's yeah. So next is limited fresh food options. You have to travel for groceries. I mean, we used to have a grocery store when I was in 8th grade, and that was like 2016, 2017. Then it closed down, sadly. Our gas station that we have there, our country store, I should say, it just now started selling things like bread, milk, eggs, but only a few things, not a whole lot. Other than that, it's your typical convenience store, like selling like pizza, we have wings, stuff like that, you know. We did at one point have a bar and grill. It lasted for about 4 years, and then sadly this year actually it closed down too. I will say groceries, so you do have to travel. Scott, Dayton, because they're closer, everything's jacked up. Actually, Dayton's grocery store burnt down, so that's not an option as of right now. But you have to travel to Scott or Hayes, Garden, Colby. I mean, you just have to go about an hour to an hour and a half. Opportunities. So an idea I thought about was, why not have like a mobile clinic? One that comes in maybe once or twice a month, or, you know, maybe a little more than that, but says, hey, I'm going to be here at this time on Monday, every first and second Monday of the month, and I'll be here from 10 to 3, that way people can come in and it's a little quick go, whatever you need. Grant funding, so right now our school is being shut down, sadly. It needs to, but just not enough kids. One thing they're wanting to do is build a park. So where our football field is currently, they want to take that and redo it, make it into a park, fix up the baseball diamonds, and really add to it and hopefully have something for the community to use and benefit. So that would be something that would be great. Also, they're, wanting to update a little bit of our weight room, so that grant funding would come and help us big time. Another thought I had was we have these 2 greenhouses that are on the south side that nobody uses. And if we got those up and going again, that would be great. Also starting a farmer's market, that way that helps people be like, okay, I want to start my own garden, that way I can sell this. One, that's healthy food, stuff like that, brings in customers, money-wise, stuff like that. You could also do hold the farmer's market at our convenience store outside, because there's a pretty big parking lot. That way then, if anybody wants to go in and have a snack, that brings them business too. Ooh, threats. So, our aging population, Healy is made up with a lot of older adults. Not a lot of young people. So, services for them is tough. You have to travel. I know when my grandma got pretty bad, she moved in with my great grandma. She got pretty bad. She moved in with my grandparents, and then we had to do. We hired somebody. Luckily, somebody was willing to drive. Make that drive. We lived out in the country, which made it even more of a drive. But still, finding that is super tough because nobody wants to travel out that way, and especially with depending on how much you're paying, that also is, other than that, sometimes you have to sadly put them in a nursing home. Rural isolation. I know for COVID, it kind of sucked because everybody was like, oh, I got my cows, I got this, and so people who did have family, were good. I know some people, it's just them. Their spouse died, they have no family near, clear over yonder, and so that really definitely took a toll on some people. Some economic barriers, like I said, healthcare, gosh, that's just tough, it's, you have to travel just to get anything. Limited emergency response resources. So we have, luckily, a ambulance and a firehouse station, although we only have 1 ambulance and 1 fire truck. The people that are our responders, they don't live there, they don't stay there, they're our farmers, and a lot of them live outside, and so it takes them about 10 minutes or more just to get to the station. When you're on call, you just listen for that walkie and you're gone, so who knows, they might be even in the field at that point, so it might take them a little longer. So that's definitely a no-go. Hypothesis and trends. So many gaps, just because where we're located and our population size, it's just it's tough. Older adults may not seek mental, physical health just because one, how they grew up. A lot of times I feel like a lot of Midwesterns, people and country folks are like, nah, I don't need that, I'm okay. Plus with the distance, that's travel and that's money, and a lot of people, they don't have that kind of dough just to go out and have to travel. I know my grandma, for her doctor appointments, she has to travel to Denver, and that sucks, because sometimes even our bigger towns that are located near us, like Hayes and Garden, don't have what we need. So that kind of also is a big bummer. Youth, the people that we do have, a lot of times they end up leaving just because there's not a lot of whole opportunity. But if we did open opportunities and stuff like that, like more jobs, I think that might help. Also, going back to that really quickly, time out. A lot of times what happens is they'll leave, but they'll come back just because typical farmers, a lot of family farms, so their kids tend to stay or go, come back, learn a little bit, and help what can help build the farm. Dimensions of wellness. So I put on 4 dimensions: physical, mental, social, and environmental. And then I just put what's going well and what needs improving. So for physical, things are going good. Youth sports. Our rec, they support any kid that wants to do or put on a team together and go play. A lot of times it's just basketball. I mean, we've done a few, I know, for baseball, but really any other sport, that's just it. Outdoor space, like I said, we're trying to build that park. That's pretty good. Needing improvement, because our school's shutting down, we don't have a gym. And so our weight room also needs increased. So we don't have that gym access anymore to our actual gym. And our weight room, like I said, needs improvement. We need definitely more equipment, things like that. Mental, emotional, great supportive relationships within the community. Like I said earlier, when I was in high school, and that even carried on after I left. But anytime anyone was going to state, everyone was like, let's do a parade, let's do a big send-off. So we would do that. So for counseling wise, we don't have anything. Like I said, we may have a few people in town, but just to be like, hey, yo, can you come over? That doesn't happen a whole lot, but you just have to depend on the people basically. Social, I mean, like I said, tight-knit community. Everybody knows everybody. Whether you like it or not, they get in your business. Few formal social outlets would definitely be nice. I mean, like places to hang out. For family reunions, you used to be able to rent out the school like a little bit. There was a commons area that we used. I know that's what we did. And then we also have an arcade in our town, fun fact. We rented that out for my brother's graduation actually this year. Now, it's not open all the time. It's just a rent out type sitch. Environmental, it's clean. I mean, you really don't see trash or anything like that anywhere, and if you do, people pick it up. Other than that, limited infrastructure. We just don't have, kind of like I said earlier, like places to go and so on. They just, yeah. It's not tough. Sorry. If it will go. There we go. So for my conclusion, Healy's a great town. I love it. Our spirit was great when, I was in high school. Things were good, but, it lacks a lot of things, and health is one. Health resources. You just have to travel, and even, like, our fire department and our ambulance, like, it takes them a bit, too, which, it's a big bummer. If there was any huge situations, luckily we haven't ran into that yet. Solutions, so kind of like I said earlier, that traveling clinic would be super beneficial. Small grants to help, small grants and student community-led projects, I'm going to put it together as one, just because like that park, like I was talking about, that we're trying to put in, if people get more involved in that, and we're like, hey, let's try to figure out ways to get more money, what can we do as a community to do this, keep things up and going, like that's just, it's super beneficial for us and future, just small improvements could just help big time. Like the greenhouse and stuff like that. Even if you were to bring it in and be like, hey guys, this is for our community. Here you go at it. People growing stuff that just, I mean, that might save on your grocery bills a little bit. Not a whole lot, but just a little. Okay, so my references, I used the US